Amen.
The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in 7 parts. The argument. How a ship, having passed the line, was driven by storms to the cold country towards the South Pole, and how from thence she made her course to the tropical latitude of the great Pacific Ocean, and of the strange things that befell, and in what manner the ancient mariner came back to his own country. Part 1. The ancient mariner begins his tale to the wedding guest, and the ship sets sail. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of 3.
Why, thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stoppest thou me? The bridegroom's doors are open wide, and I am next of kin. The guests are met, the feast is set, me's here the merry din.
The bride hath hastened to the hall, red as a rose is she.
Nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrels sing.
He holds him with his skinny hand.
Hold off and hand me, grey beard loon.
As soon as his hand dropped
he holds him with his glittering eye. The wedding guest stood still
and listens like a 3 years child. The mariner hath his will.
The wedding guest is in a trance. He cannot choose but hear.
And thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner.
The wedding guest, he beat his breast. He cannot choose but hear. And thus spake on the ancient man, that bright-eyed mariner.
The ship was cheered.
The ship was cheered. Hurrah!
The harbour cleared.
Hurrah! Merrily did we drop below the kirk,
Below the hill, below the lighthouse top.
Hurrah!
The sun came up upon the left. Out of the sea came he, and he shone bright, and on the right went down into the sea.
Higher and higher every day, till over the mast at noon. Faster and faster every day, the fair breeze blew us on.
And now,
And now, and now, and now, the storm has came, and he was tyrannous and strong. He struck with his overtaking wings, and chased us south along, with sloping mast and dipping prow, as who pursued with gallant blow, still treads the shadow of his foe, and forward bent his head. The ship drove fast, loud roared the blast, and southward aye we fled. It cracked and growled and roared and howled. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in a swound. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in a swound.
At length did cross an albatross. Thorough the fog it came.
As if it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in God's name.
It ate the food in near Hadith, and round it flew.
The ice did split with a thunder fit. The helmsman steered us through.
And a good south wind sprung up behind. The albatross did follow. And every day, for food or play, came to the mariner's hollow.
In mist or cloud, in mast or shroud, it purged the vespers nigh, whilst all the night, through fog smoke white, glimmered the white moonshine.
God save the ancient mariner from the fiends that plague thee thus. Why lookest thou so?
With my crossbow, I shot the albatross.
Part 2. The spirit of the South Pole takes revenge for the albatross's death.
The sun now rose upon the right. Out of the sea came he, still hid in mist, and on the left went down into the sea.
And the good south wind still blew behind. But no sweet bird did follow, nor any day for food or play came to the mariner's hollow.
And I had done a hellish thing, and it would work in woe. For all averred I had killed the bird that made the breeze to blow.
Ah, wretch, said they, such bird to slay, that made the breeze to blow.
Nor dim nor red, like God's own head, the glorious sun upbrist.
For all averred I had killed the bird that brought the fog and mist.
'Twas right, said they, such birds to slay, that bring the fog and mist.
The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrowed fleet free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. Into that silent sea.
Down dropped the breeze, the sails dropped down. 'Twas sad as sad could be, and we did only speak to break the silence of the sea.
All in a hot and copper sky, the bloody sun at noon, right up above the mast did stand, no bigger than the moon.
Day after day, day after day, we stuck, nor breath nor motion, as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean.
Water, water everywhere. All the boards did shrink.
Water, water everywhere! For any a drop to drink. Water, water everywhere. For all the boys to drink. Water, water everywhere. For any a drop to drink. Water, water, water.
The very deep did rot. Oh Christ, that ever this should be!
Ye slimy things did crawl with legs upon the slimy sea.
About, in reel and rout, the death fires danced at night.
The water, like a witch's oil, burnt green and blue and white.
And some in dreams assured were of the spirit that plagued us so. 9 fathom deep it had followed us from the land of mist and snow.
And every tongue, through utter drought, was withered at the root.
We could not speak, no more than if we'd been choked with soot. Ah, well a day! What evil looks!
Had I from old and young,
Instead of the cross, the albatross.
about my neck was hung.
Part 3. The ship of death claims the sailors' lives.
There passed a weary time.
Each throat was parched and glazed each eye.
A weary time, a weary time, how glazed each weary eye.
When looking westward, I beheld a something in the sky.
At first, it seemed a little speck, and then it seemed a mist. It moved and took at last
A certain shape I wist. A speck, a mist, a shape I wist.
And still it neared and neared, as if it dodged a water sprite. It plunged and tacked and veered.
With throats unslaked, with black lips baked, we could nor laugh nor wail. Through utter drought all dumb we stood.
I bit my arm, I sucked the blood, and cried, "A sail! A sail!"
with throats unslaked, with black lips baked. Agape we heard him call, "Gramercy!" we for joy did grin, and all at once our breath drew in, as we were drinking all.
See, see, I cried, she tacks no more.
Hither to workers wheel, without a breeze, without a tide, she steadies with upright keel. The western wave was all aflame, the day was well nigh done.
Almost upon the western wave rested the broad bright sun.
When that strange shape drove suddenly betwixt us and the sun.
And straight the sun was flecked with bars. Heaven's mother, send us grace! As if through a dungeon grey he peered with broad and burning face.
Alas, thought I, and my heart beat loud, how fast she nears and nears.
Those her sails, that glance in the sun, like restless gossameres. Those her ribs, which through the sun did peer as through a grate. Is that woman, all her crew? Is that a death? And all there too, is death that woman's mate?
Her lips were red, her looks were free, her locks were yellow as gold. Her skin was as white as leprosy. The nightmare life in death was she, who thicks a man's blood with cold.
The naked hulk alongside came, and the twain were casting dice.
The game is done. I've won, I've won. Quoth she, and whistles thrice.
The sun's rim dips, the stars rush out. At one stride comes the dark. With far-heard whisper over the sea, off shot the spectre bark.
We listened and looked sideways up.
Fear at my heart, as at a cup, my lifeblood seemed to sip.
The stars were dim and thick the night. The steersman's face by his lamp gleamed white, till climbed above the eastern bar the horned moon with one bright star within the nether tip. One after one by the star-dogged moon, too quick for groan or sigh.
Each turned his face with a ghastly pang, and cursed me with his eye.
4 times 50 living men, we made no sigh nor groan.
With heavy thump, a lifeless lump, we dropped down one by one.
Their souls from their bodies did fly. They fled to bliss or woe.
And every soul it passed me by, like the whiz of my crossbow.
I fear the ancient mariner. I fear thy skinny hand. And thou art long and lank and brown, as is the ribbed sea sand. I fear thee and thy glittering eye, and thy skinny hand so brown.
Fear not, thou wedding guest. This body dropped not down.
Part 4. The ancient mariner learns to bless all living things.
Alone, alone, all alone, alone on the wide, wide sea. And never a saint took pity on your soul in agony.
The many men so beautiful, and they all dead did lie.
And 1,000 slimy things lived on, and so did I.
You looked upon the rotting sea,
And drew your eyes away. You looked upon the rotting deck.
and there we dead men lay.
You looked to heaven and tried to pray, but whatever prayer had gushed, a wicked whisper came and made your heart as dry as dust.
You closed your lids and kept them close, and the balls like pulses beat. For the sea and the sky and the sky and the sea lay dead like a load on your weary eye, and the dead were at your feet.
Cold sweat melted from their limbs. For rot nor reek did they.
An orphan's curse could drag to hell a spirit from on high.
But oh, more horrible than that is the curse in a dead man's eye.
7 days.
7.
7 nights.
7.
I saw that curse, and yet I could not die.
The moving moon went up the sky, and nowhere did abide. Softly she was going up, and a star or two beside.
Her beams bemock the sultry main, like April hoarfrost spreads. The charmed water burnt away, a still and awful red.
Beyond the shadow of the ship,
I watched the water snakes.
they moved in tracks of shining white, and when they reared, the elfish light fell off in hoary flakes.
beyond the shadow of the ship. I watched their rich attire, blue, glossy green, and velvet black. They coiled and swam, and every track was a flash of golden fire.
Oh, happy living things, no tongue their beauty might declare. A spring of love gushed from your heart, and you blessed them unaware. And sure, your saints took pity on thee, and you blessed them unaware.
That self-same moment, I could pray, and from my neck so free,
The albatross fell off and sank like lead to the sea.
Part 5. The ghostly crew work the ship, which is surrounded by beautiful sounds.
I moved and could not feel my limbs. I was so light, almost. I thought that I had died in sleep and was a blessed ghost.
And soon he heard a roaring wind. It did not come anear, but with its sound it shook the sails that were so thin and sere.
The upper air burst into life, and 100 fire flags sheen. To and fro they were hurried about, to and fro and in and out. The one stars danced between.
And the coming wind did roar more loud, and the sails did sigh like sedge. The rain poured down from one black cloud, the moon was at its edge.
The thick black cloud was cleft and still, the moon was at its side. Like water shot from some high crag, the lightning fell with never a jag, a river steep and wide.
The loud wind never reached the ship, yet now the ship moved on, beneath the lightning and the moon. The dead men gave a groan.
We groaned, we stirred, we all uprose, nor spake, nor moved our eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream,
to have seen we dead men rise.
They groaned, they stirred, they all uprose, nor spake, nor moved their eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream, to have seen those dead men rise. The helmsman steered, the ship moved on, yet never a breeze upblew. The mariners all gan work the ropes, as they were wont to do. They raised their limbs like lifeless tools.
We were a ghastly crew.
The body of my brother's son stood by me, knee to knee. The body and I pulled at one rope, but he said naught to me.
I fear the ancient mariner.
Fear not, thou wedding guest. 'Twas not those souls that fled in pain that to their corpses came again, but a troop of spirits, blessed.
For when it dawned, we dropped our arms and clustered round the mast. Sweet sounds rose slowly through our mouths and from our bodies passed.
Around, around, flew each sweet sound, then darted to the sun. Slowly the sounds came back again, now mixed, now one by one.
And now 'twas like all instruments, now like a lonely flute.
And now it is an angel song that makes the heavens be mute.
It ceased, yet still the sails made on a pleasant noise till noon.
A noise like of a hidden brook in the leafy month of June.
That to the sleeping woods all night singeth the quiet tune.
Till noon we quietly sailed on, yet never a breeze did breathe.
Slowly and smoothly went the ship, moved onwards from beneath.
Under the keel 9 fathom deep, from the land of mist and snow, the spirit slid, and it was he that made the ship to go. The sails at noon left off their tune, and the ship stood still also.
The sun, right up above the mast, had fixed her to the ocean, but in a minute she gan stir.
With a short, uneasy motion, backwards and forwards half her length, with a short, uneasy motion.
Then, like a pouring horse let go, we made a sudden
bound.
The blood was flung into his head, and he fell down in a swound.
How long it that same fit I lay, I have not to declare, but here my living life returned. I heard, and in my soul discerned, 2 voices in the air.
Is it he? Is this the man? By him who died on cross? With his cruel bow he laid full low the harmless albatross. The spirit who bideth by himself in the land of mist and snow. He loved the bird that loved the man who shot him with his bow.
The other was a softer voice, as soft as honey dew. This man hath penance done, and penance more will do.
But tell me, speak again, thy soft response renewing. What makes this ship drive on so fast? What is the ocean doing?
Still as a slave before his lord, the ocean hath no blast. His great bright eye most silently up to the moon is cast, if he may know which way to go, for she guides him smooth or grim. See, brother, see how graciously she looketh down on him.
But why drives on this ship so fast, without or wave or wind?
The air is cut away before, and closes from behind. Fly, brother, fly, more high, or we shall be belated. For slow and slow that ship will go, when the mariner's trance is abated.
Part 6. The spirit of the South Pole guides the ancient mariner home.
He woke, and we were sailing on as in a gentle weather. 'Twas night, calm night. The moon was high, we dead men stood together.
We stood together on the deck for a charnel dungeon fitter.
All fixed on me their stony eyes, that in the moon did glitter. The pang, the curse with which they died, had never passed away. I could not draw my eyes from theirs, nor turn them up to pray.
And now, this spell was snapped. Once more, he viewed the ocean green, and looked far forth, yet little saw of what had else been seen.
Like one that on a lonesome road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, walks on and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread.
But soon there breathed a wind on him, nor sound nor motion made. Its path was as upon the sea, in ripple or in shade.
It raised his hair, it fanned his cheek like a meadow gale of spring. It mingled strangely with his fears, yet it felt like a welcoming.
Swiftly, swiftly blew the ship, yet she sailed softly through. Sweetly, sweetly blew the breeze, on him alone it blew.
Dream of joy. Is this indeed the lighthouse top I see? Is this the hill? Is this the kirk? Is this mine own country?
We drifted o'er the harbour bar, and he with sobs did pray.
Oh, let me be awake, my God, or let me sleep away.
The harbour bay was clear as glass, so smoothly it was strewn, and on the bay the moonlight lay in the shadow of the moon. The rock shone bright, the kirk no less, that stands above the rock. The moonlight steeped in silenceless the steady weathercock.
The bay was white with silent light, till rising from the same, for many shapes that shadows were, in crimson colours came.
A little distance from the prow those crimson colours were.
I turned my eyes upon the deck. Oh Christ, what saw I there?
Each corpse stood still, lifeless and still, and by the holy rood, a man all light, a seraph man, on every corpse there stood.
The seraph band, each waved his hand. No voice did they impart, no voice, but oh, the silence sank like music on my heart.
But soon, he heard the dash of oars. He heard the pilot's cheer. His head was turned a force away, and he saw a boat appear. The pilot and the pilot's boy, he heard them coming fast.
Dear Lord in heaven, it was a joy the dead men could not last.
Part 7. The ancient mariner reaches home and passes on his message to the wedding guest.
I saw a third. I heard his voice. It is the hermit good. He singeth loud his godly hymns that he maketh in the wood.
He will shrive your soul.
He will wash away the albatross's blood.
This hermit good lives in that wood that slopes down to the sea. How loudly his sweet voice he rears. He loves to talk with mariners that come from far country.
The skiff boat neared. I heard them talk.
Why, this is strange, I trow. Where are her lights, so many and fair? The signal made but now.
Strange, by my faith, the hermit said, and they answered not our cheer.
The planks looked warped, and see her sails, how thin they are, and see her.
I never saw aught like to them, unless perchance it were brand skeletons of leaves that lag my forest brook along.
Dear Lord, it hath a fiendish look. I am afeard.
Push on, said the hermit cheerily.
The boat came closer to the ship, but he nor spake nor stirred. The boat came close beneath the ship, and straight a sound was heard.
Under the water it rumbled on, still louder and more dread. It reached the ship, it split the bay.
The ship went down like lead.
Upon the world where sank the ship, the boat spun round and round, and all was still, save that the hill was telling of the sound.
The swiftest dreams, myself I found within the pilot's boat. I moved my lips.
The pilot shrieked and fell down in a fit.
The holy hermit raised his eyes and prayed where he did sit.
I took the oars.
The pilot's boy who now doth crazy go laughed long and loud, and all the while his eyes went to and fro. Ha ha, quoth he, full plain I see, the devil knows how to row.
And now we stood firm on land, all in our own country.
The hermit stepped forth from the boat, and scarcely he could stand.
Oh, shrive me, holy man.
The holy hermit crossed his brow. Say quick, quoth he, I bid thee say, what manner of man art thou?
Forthwith this frame of his was wrenched with a woeful agony, which forced him to begin his tale, and then it let him free.
Since then, at an uncertain hour, that agony returns.
And till his ghastly tale is told, this heart within him burns.
I pass, like night, from land to land. I have strange power of speech. That moment that his face I see, I know the man that must hear me. To him my tale I teach.
3 cheers for the bride and groom. Hip hip.
Hurrah!
Hip hip.
Hurrah!
Hip hip.
Hurrah!
What loud uproar burst from that door? The wedding guests are there.
But in the garden bower, the bride and bridesmaids singing are.
And hark, the little vesper bell, which biddeth me to prayer.
O wedding guest, this soul have been alone on a wide, wide sea. So lonely 'twas that God himself scarce seemed there to be.
'Tis sweeter than the marriage feast, 'tis sweeter far to me, to walk together to the kirk with a goodly company.
Hurrah!
To walk together to the kirk and all together pray.
Hurrah!
While each to his great father bends, old men and babes and loving friends, and maids and youths so free.
Hurrah!
Farewell, farewell. But this I tell to thee, thou wedding guest. He prayeth well, who loveth well, both man and bird and beast.
He prayeth best, who loveth best, all things both great and small. For there did God who loveth us, He made and loveth all.
To man and bird and beast.
To man and bird and beast.
The mariner, whose eye is bright, whose beard with age is hoar, is gone, and now the wedding guest turns from the bridegroom's door.
I went like one that hath been stunned, and is of sense forlorn. A sadder and a wiser man, I rose the morrow morn.
What's a ship? There was a ship. There was a ship.
It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three.